All right, guys. So this is going to be project 5 for you. I want you to recreate this slide lock. Now, it's a typical gate lock where when this arm turns, it would lock inside with these two inside brackets. So let's just look at it. So from the side view here, okay, the height of this plate from these two sides is 25, okay? And then your center plate blocks are 15, okay? And you have to realize that this 15 height is also does not include, I should say, the base plate itself, which is a 5. However, when you look at the overall height, it does include that 5, okay? So those are two things you got to keep in mind. From the side view, it also shows you the height of the center point of the circle that this actual lock will slide through. Okay. And it also gives you that this here, that it does have these holes in the corner. Okay. So the thing it's showing you here is that this side, when you look at it here, okay, in the isometric view, it's solid. However, it's not solid all the way through, or it wouldn't be showing this dashed line. And also it's showing that these circles are hollow, that the slide lock itself will go through, and that these screw holes are hollow by showing the dashed line. So just always remember when you see these dashed lines that it's actually a hole. It's not the same, like not crossing the whole plane of the object. So you have to keep that in mind. So then when you look at the plan view, it gets a little more technical in some respects because it's telling you everything you need to know to build it. However, it's not giving you an overall width or, well, just really the width, because what it's showing you is that the side blocks that the slide lock will go through are 10 in width. It's showing you that you have from the one side 10, a space of 12 and a half before you have the side block, okay, that the slide lock would lock into, and then again mirrored on the other side. So you have to actually add all of this together to come up with your overall width, okay? So if you come in and you say, you could look at it as well and say, well, I know that on the bottom here, it's 57 and a half to the edge of the side block. Then you just really have to add the 12 and the 10 together, okay? So the overall width is 80, okay? And then you can see the overall depth, I would call it, is 40, okay? So just a typical rectangle. And then again, you see here where it says 4 times radius 5, okay, that's referring to that corner that you're going to fill it. And then this over here on the bottom of the plan view, 4x diameter 4, that's indicating the size of these screw holes. Okay. And then the other thing you have to understand is you're getting kind of a front view on this image that's in a blue square, and it's pointing at as if you're looking down the barrel of the lock itself. And so it looks like they're all interlaced right on this plane, but when you look at all 3 of these in conjunction, you realize that this is right on this face and these 2 are set back. Okay, but it's just telling you exactly what the radius of this curve is, where this circle is placed, showing you some more about the dimensioning. Okay, so all in all, it looks complicated, but it's not. And then when you actually look at the lock itself, the thing that you have to realize is you are creating this with a polyline, so it's all joined, okay? If you do it as a line, it's going to need to be joined because you are going to eventually do a sweep on it. And if you do a sweep on it and it's single entities, it's going to stop right when the line stops. So you need it to be joined. So either create it with a polyline and fill it your corners, or make it with a line if you want, but you're going to have to join it if you make it with a line. So let's walk through some elements of it. I may not walk through the whole project itself, but let's just start on it. So we know that the base rectangle is 80 by 40, okay? So there it is. not too big. We also know from the plan view and from the side view that we have 4, let's say, rectangles. Now I'm going to do them as rectangles, and then I'm going to fillet the edges of those rectangles to create the sides and the locks for this. But that's just the way I'm going to do it. And what I would do, and this is just me making it easy on myself, I think, is I'm going to make my rectangles and then place them, because I know they're all centered. And so I want to make sure that when I make them, they are exactly centered on my square. So my if I look at, I'll make sure you guys know what I'm doing here. If I look at this, let's make this side. Okay, so it's going to be 20 by 10. So we go back into AutoCAD. Remember that I'm going down in this orientation. So I need it to be 10 by minus 20, I think is what I said. Okay, so this I can go ahead and place if I want right here. Okay, because I had that snap on. Okay, and then the other one I can just go ahead and make, and that one, if we look at it, is 10 as well, but 35. Okay, so I'm going to do minus 10 comma 35. Oops, and I did it wrong, but I can just rotate it, so it's not a big deal. Okay, if your isometric's on, if your ortho's on, you can just shift it. Okay, so grab it, get it from the midpoint, and place it. Okay, now I could go ahead and just mirror these all over, which would be easy enough to do. But I can also do that once I have it all created. So I don't know, I think I'll just leave it like this for now. So let's go ahead and do our extrusions. So I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to extrude it up. The base plate is 5, I believe. Yeah. Okay, and then we can go and extrude, and I know I'm not in 3D, but that's okay. These, and they need to have a high overall height, let me see, 15, right, the sides? Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to right click to get it active again, and I'm going to bring it up. I need to bring those up another, enter 25. Okay, these actually need to be bigger, but because in the diagram, if you look at it, and I just missed that for a second, this height, the height of the side, is not including the base. And I mentioned that earlier, and then I totally negated my comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a simple move, and I'm going to move the midpoint of this, wherever it might be here, yeah, up to the midpoint of that. Okay, instead of having to shift it around and whatnot. Okay, so then I want these to be, I want these filleted, these edges filleted. So I'm going to go to modeling just to make my life easier. And I'm going to go to solid. Oh, it hasn't gone yet. Solid. No, I don't need to. I guess I do. I'm going to fillet my edge. Now, if I look at all of them, this one should have a radius of 10 if I did it right. Okay. And then again over here. Now it should still be intact, the measurements I put in. Okay, and then I'm gonna look at this other one, and it should have a radius of 5. So I can go ahead and activate it and then change my fillet. Okay, so that would be, I think, yeah, that side and this side. Okay, okay. And then this is done, this one here. So if I look at this one from this side straight on, I can grab that entity and mirror it over. And I guess I'll just pick that and go straight down. Let me see if it went right. Yep. Okay. Always double check, just make sure. And this one, I want a hole in it. Okay. So I'm actually going to put my hole in it. Let me find it here. Okay. I need a radius of 10. No, I need it to be a diameter of 8. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a circle on the face. Okay. And oops, I'm on the wrong. Okay. So this is something that we haven't worked that much with, and I haven't had a chance to work with you all of you on it. But right now you see the grid over down here. That's where my work plane is. So when I go to a circle, it's going to want to make it on, oh, I did it right this time, on this plane automatically. Okay. So if I want to work on this face, I activate this circle. It's not wanting to activate. It could be, it could possibly, most likely, put it put it on that plane. See how it wants to be on that top plane. Okay. So one thing you can do is shift it. So if I shift my view to here, I can no longer see my work plane because it's coming right at me, but I can go up to my coordinates and shift that. Okay. So you have multiple options. This is view. So if you do what I did, where I just put it on that side and I want to make my circle on the face I'm looking at, you can just put it on view. If you wanted to select the object to place, you could, and you'd have to designate where on the object. And if you wanted the face, you could do that. So I could put it on this face if I wanted to, but I'm just going to make it easy on myself and just say view. Okay. So now my work plane should be behind me, kind of in that respect. And then when I go to, okay, I just got a lot I got a lot of snaps on, and I don't usually work with a lot of snaps. So I'm just going to turn some of these guys off, make my life easier. At least I hope, right? To work on this face. So you see how they're aligned, how my plane is aligned with the face that I want to work on. So now I'm making my circle and I want its diameter to be 8. So it's asking for radius. So I'm going to put in 4. Okay. Now you should be able to press this through your object. Okay. And then just delete it. So what you want deleted from and what you want deleted. Okay. So now if I put it in conceptual, there should be a hole through it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my work plane that I was on before, and I want to turn this so I feel more comfortable. And I like to work in wireframe. I'm going to grab this. I already have the hole through it. I should just be able to do a straight mirror, not having to worry about 3D. And I turned all my snaps off. And take my midpoint, my orthos on. It should go directly south, and then I should have basically my body. Okay. Now, the only thing I haven't done with this one is these edges here. And if you look at the circles, I suppose, and if you look at the diagram, okay, it shows that these are for the diameter of 4, and it's indicating there's 4 of them. I would do that first. It's going to give you a center point of the arc, and that center point of the arc is where we're going to put the circle. Okay, so let's go ahead and do your radius. That's the edge, which your radius is 5 on that. So again, go to solid, go to fillet edge, select that edge, give it a radius, and it should be 5 from the last time I did it. Okay, and then select all of them. Just get them out of the way. I should be able to work through that. Okay. And now it's like this, right? And so now I should, I'll just do it like that. Now I should be able to put my cylinder or whatever I want on that face. Let's see. Why does it want to give it to me? Because it wants to give me that one. Okay. And whichever one it chooses, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So radius, and I said my radius needed to be 5. Ooh. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was wrong. I'm going to go back and change that. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to change it in properties to make my life easier. Select it, and I should be able to change this to 2. Yeah, that's what I want it to be. No, 2. Okay. It should stay centered on that point. Okay, so that shouldn't be a concern. And then just to make sure, like this is a bit extreme, because I didn't really give it a height, I just pulled it through. I want to move this. Okay. I want to place this on all four corners, and then I'm just going to subtract it. So I'm going to select it, and I'll mirror it across all my planes. It should go over there. Perfect. And then once I have the 2, then I should be able to mirror, and I might not have that on anymore, my midpoint. So here, straight down. Okay, then I should have all 4, and then you can go ahead and you say, I want it subtracted from this, and I want that one, this one, that one. And that's why you have the enter between, so you can do multiple. Okay, so now you have your base. Okay, pretty simple, right? And then the other thing that we need to create the actual slide lock would be the lock itself. So I would keep ortho on, and then I would, using polyline, because that's what I selected, make a line, then go straight down, then you'll do your 40, then you'll come across, and you're going to make your 68, 25, and then you're going to go up 30. Okay. Now, once it's done, escape. So here it is, and it's all joined. See how it's highlighting? But you still need to do your radiuses. So you're going to do your fillet, and they're all the same. Okay. So make sure your radius is at 5, and you're going to go 1, 2, enter, 1, 2, enter, 1, 2, enter. And then let me see what's going on here. I broke it up. Okay. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's trim it. Okay. Enter, and then I want this gone. Okay. It did something I didn't really expect it to do, which was break apart my polyline. So, which doesn't make me happy, but anyway, so I'm just going to join it. Okay, so just double check your work, make sure that what you're doing is working. And so then if you look at your diagram, you see that your diameter of this is 7.5. Okay, remember the hole that you made is a diameter of 8. It needs to be smaller than the hole it's going through. So of course it's 7.5. So make sure that when you make your circle for this, okay, you select diameter and you select 7.5. Okay, and then you'll just sweep it. Okay, and that should really be all of that you need for this assignment. Okay, now you'll want to, hopefully I made that right, looks right. You'll place this inside your lock or inside the base plate. Okay, and you need to make sure it's centered when you place it, because I want it to appear as a functional lock. Now, if we were in the classroom, I would show you the function of the lock. We could place it somewhere and lock something. But since we don't have that right now, we'll have to work with this as your example. So I hope that helps you work through this assignment.